Right, let's get started. This is a fighter mode, all bosses tutorial. Figure I should cover the bases. Just start off, you do fighter mode. To do fighter mode, you have to unlock it. You have to beat the game one time, and then it gives you the magician mode password called Fireball. You have to input Fireball, then you beat that. And then you get the fighter mode password called Gradius. So you name your file Gradius, and that gives you fighter mode. Fighter mode is unique, and much like the other modes, you start off with different stats. You can't use any DSS, you can't use any magic in fighter mode. And in fact, I'll show you. You have twice the strength. The note only shows 141, but that's a scaling thing. But you really do twice as much damage. You have twice the defense and 2 times the HP. Half intelligence, half MP, but you're never going to get any magic anyway, so that part doesn't really matter anyway. Same heart, same luck, things like that. So a lot of people think this is the easiest category, or the easiest one to do casually. It's pretty straightforward. It's like classic Castlevania where you're just whipping and using your sub-weapons and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And for a speedrun, it's probably the easiest one to get into as well, just because, yeah, it's pretty simple. You don't have to worry about dying as much, because monsters don't do that much damage to you. And the bosses aren't too complicated, as far as, I can say. Yeah, let's get started. Normal stuff at the start. You just fall down. And then, so the first couple rooms here, we're just going to be sliding through everything. We have enough power that we can just slide through these skeletons. No consequence. We are actually going to be killing these bats along the way, because we're going to try to get a wristband. There's another set of bats that we'll kill after getting the dash boots. So something really interesting about this category that I'll note on later is Japanese and English actually has a pretty big difference in the early game. Hey Devil, hey Alvin. And I'll note on that after I kill Cerberus. But if you didn't notice, like, you jump on this platform and whip twice, and that's a way to potentially get more wristbands without needing to wait and farm or spend any extra time. And you get a little extra experience, which is important too. So this room is a little complicated. You just kind of have to react to the skeletons and the poison worms to try to dodge as many hits as possible. Getting hit twice or 3 times in that room is pretty normal. This part's pretty straightforward. So unlike Magician mode, you want to dodge as many hits as possible because we just have regular dashing speed. But I will say, you want to kill these 2 boneheads for experience, because we're going to be getting level 2 before, at the very least, before Cerberus. I'm going to try to kill that guy and kill that guy as well for experience. There are 2 bats here that we whip as we're falling, and we get this heart max here as well. There's also a big heart in that torch that you want to get. So yeah, one of the bigger separators of this category compared to Magician is experience routing. Like I said, we're going to be getting level 2 before Cerberus, so it's really important that you kill a few monsters along the way. In this room, there are hoppers. You can just slide through them. We kill these for level 2, and looky here, we got a gauntlet. A gauntlet increases your strength by 15. It's a pretty low chance that you get one. It's a rare drop, but if you do, it's really, really nice. It's so helpful for the early game. But if you don't have a gauntlet, that's no big deal. You just want to get level 2 and then just go on. If you want, you can farm for a gauntlet, but that you're not very likely to get one at all. But so I would advise just going on to Cerberus after level 2 whether you get a gauntlet or not. Now the Cerberus fight, you actually kind of have to learn a little bit of it. There are 2 phases to it. Well, there's 3 of them. The starting one is always the same. It's going to be he's going to jump after a short amount of time, and it's kind of random when he jumps. But you're basically just going to be whipping him the whole time. And when he's about to jump, you want to slide into him. You'll take damage, but that way you also deal damage while he's jumping. So we're just going to come up here and start whipping. I'm going to start that again. Yeah, oh well. It's kind of hard to tell when he is going to jump. You just have to react as best you can. So we want blue here. Blue is the best because you just can continue whipping the whole time. I'm just gonna not, because I'll actually kill it if I keep whipping. There's these lightning balls, so you can just keep whipping until they come back to you, and then you want to jump on the platform above. And this next one should be red, which he'll jump to the other side of the room and fire this laser, in which you can start whipping Cerberus from behind. And from here, he'll choose one of the 2 other colors as well. So he could choose blue, or he could just choose the one that he started off with when he jumps regularly. And if he chooses blue, then that's cool. But you should be able to kill it before it cycles through onto the next patterns again, even without a gauntlet or even without wristbands. It shouldn't be a hard thing to do. Just a little bit of practice and you'll get the hang of it. When while Cerberus is dying, you wanna, there are 5 hearts in all of these torches at the top here. You'll want to collect all 15 of them. And that's another thing that's very, 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 very important about this run that's different from Magician and Vampire Killer for like all bosses, is heart management is pinnacle. If you don't know where the hearts are, that's going to affect your run a lot. So if you don't have max hearts, you're going to want to, while running through here, you can do a full jump whip and collect this heart in the middle, and it doesn't waste any time. There's a little movement tech in this mummy room that I'll try to show off. You try to jump over that coffin, and you can jump over that coffin by jumping at the very edge there, and it saves you a hit. Also, if you've got a wristband or any strength upgrades, you can slide through these mummies and they die, so you aren't taking hits from them. Just gonna show that again. But I'll take off my my gauntlet so that I can show you that you do take damage, or you can't kill them in one slide. If you mess it up, sometimes it's okay, because, you know, you get knocked to the other side, and it's not that consequential. So there's that. You do want to collect the holy water here. It's going to help us as we go up the Abyss Stairway. If you're concerned about your health, it really shouldn't be a problem, but there's HP max in here. I'm not going to get it just because I don't want to mess up my routing. I'm just used to the way the routing works. So as we go up the Abyss Stairway, there's a secret in the wall here, and it actually saves like a second or two to break it open while you're climbing up, and then just jump over to that side. The Abyss Stairway is pretty straightforward. You can jump up to these crumbling platforms from down there, instead of needing to go all the way around like that. There's also a save point here if, again, you're worried about your health or something. Here we're gonna throw holy waters at these skeletons, because there's enough hearts on the way to Necromancer that we can just refill in time. Normally they aren't so annoying with these bones. Actually, they very rarely are. So the first set of stairs, it's 4 skeletons that you'll be killing. Here we want to slide through all of these as we slide through this wall here and kill the skeleton soldier. Now again, it's really important, remember about the experience routing? This part, there's a big, there's been a big route change as far as like levels and experience routing. We get 2 levels between Cerberus and Necromancer. So it's very important that you kill the monsters along the way that don't cost much time at all. Those slides are really good because you're already sliding into the secret wall anyway, and it just gets you a few extra kills. We're gonna throw holy water again as we climb up here. Man, these skeletons really are after me. There are 10 hearts and the axe in here. You want to collect all 3 of them. Now, if you're familiar with the game, you know that there's a heart max in that wall over there. We're going to delay that until later on, because it's just a tiny bit faster to get it later on. And we don't need that many hearts. There's 5 hearts in there that you want to get. It's the first candle in this room. And I'm just going to jump over everything in the audience hall. Now, as we're approaching the outer wall, this is where a little bit of routing changes as well for like the experience and all. We're going to take the bottom route. We're going to kill this guy, the will-o-wisp. The will-o-wisps can also drop a wristband, which could help you. You slide into the electric skeleton, kill this guy, and double jump up here. We're going to slide through this bomber, whip this guy, and whip. You want to kill the 2 brain floats that you're able to reach down here. Again, this is for experience routing. We're going to slide through this whole place. You're going to get 1 level up. Something important about this sliding section here is you actually don't want to get too close to the electric skeletons. If you get too close to the first one and you slide, okay, that one wasn't a problem, but if you get too close to them, most of the time, you'll slide too close to the next one, and it'll have its lightning bolt ready for you, like that. So you just gotta gauge the distance properly and just be careful while you're sliding. I'm gonna reload the save state so I don't mess up the experience routing. There's a save point here. Again, if you're worried about HP, I'm just gonna mark these for y'all. You're gonna kill these towers along the way. They have a chance to drop a wristband, and again, for experience. So we're gonna kill all of them here. There's an HP max in this wall. And we're gonna kill the 2 towers here. There's also 10 hearts in these 2 candles. Got a potion, that's pretty nice. Now in this next room, we're gonna drop down here, kill these 2 towers, go back, slide into the skeleton. And there's towers up here that we can kill as well. Oop, hello. And that gives us our 2nd level up. Depending on how many monsters you killed in the catacombs, you may not need to take out those towers up there, or pillars, or whatever you want to call them. But most of the time I have to, and it's not a bad thing because you get a chance at another wristband. But I didn't get a single one, which is actually unlucky because the wristband is their common drop. They also drop potions as well, but it's no big deal. Now we're on to the necromancer fight. The necromancer fight can be a little annoying. It's kind of hard. It requires a decent amount of execution. The first phase, it's kind of the same every time. So the more you practice this fight, especially for the first phase, the faster it will go. The second phase is a little more RNG dependent. This fight is like the experience routing and all that I just did is mostly for this fight, because if you don't get any strength equipment, it's almost impossible, even with the best RNG for this fight, to one cycle the second phase, because you have to land every single hit, and based on like distances and some movement stuff, like you may not be able to, even if you get the best RNG. But with the new experience routing, that's not really an issue you have to worry about. It also just speeds up the fight more in general. But yeah, so I'm just gonna run through this fight and then I'll commentate on it after that. You can usually get 5 hits on the first run through, and then you just gotta react to them. see, I have a gauntlet, so that went so fast. Yeah, you want to throw, excuse me, you want to throw your axes, like, when he's above you, like, above, right at the point where your double jump just barely reaches him with the whip, and while he's ascending. So you only get one hit with your whip, and you have to wait a little bit before he comes back down. And that way your axe you can get 2 axes off, and one of them double hits. And if you don't have any strength extras, then he'll do another cycle through, like another circle through, and there'll be a double hit. Something to note though about those orbs that transform. Sometimes he sends them out early, like sometimes he'll send them out before that last whip I just did, before throwing the axes. And that's just something you have to be prepared for. Now for this part, you want to, like right as he's about to appear, like right as his form has completely disappeared, before he turns into a skeleton, I throw an axe, so I can get an extra hit in before he starts moving. Now this is where the RNG comes in. He can either summon skeletons, or turn into this ball. And if he does that, you want to throw an axe as he's reappearing. You only need to do that 3 times though, maximum. Now here's the skeletons. This is what we want, because he just stands still and we can wail on him. But yeah, that's where the RNG comes into play. You really usually don't have to worry about it too much. Each time he does the energy ball, which we refer to as the wah 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 wah, it's only about a 5-second time loss for each one. But yeah, the second phase is kind of annoying because it's just RNG. But you want to stay on top of this platform because he ends up flying more, like longer. That usually gives you more opportunities to hit him. And when he summons the skeletons, they aren't in your way while you're trying to kill him, while you're trying to kill the boss. But again, that boss actually requires a handful of practice. You really have to be ready to react to the first phase. Usually not so much the first phase, like reaction-wise, because of the orbs, but just being able to get as many hits as possible while he's flying around this section here. And for the second phase, it's just reacting to his movement, especially if he does the orb attack, and knowing where he's going to be positioned. Because when he does the orb attack, he's going to charge directly at you, and then he's just going to be bouncing around the walls and everything. And that's just something that you understand, like where he's going to end up the more you play and the more you do this fight. Just practice, you know? That was really bad RNG for this one. I'm not going to throw another axe because even if you get bad RNG, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, this fight, this is where like the equipment that you have and the experience routing really shines through. If you have if you have any strength upgrades, it can make that fight go much faster. Now we're going to be heading to the machine tower. It's going to be a lot of interesting heart routing through this one. This candle here normally has the axe above it, but since we have the axe already, it actually becomes a big heart. So there's 5 hearts in that candle. From here, we're just going to take the portal back to the first audience hall room. I guess it's the second one, actually. I'm gonna jump. Again, for experience routing, and for the chance at a prison guard, you want to slide into the skeleton knight and the zombie thief along the way here. Now the machine tower is complicated. It really requires good movement. If you want to make the fastest cycles, your movement has to be pretty good. And this is where, like, you know, being able to dash as quickly as possible when you need to turn around, or like when you're landing and need to turn around, just comes into play and is really helpful. But each of these rooms have pretty precise timings to make the cycles, the fastest cycles. And some of them don't make sense. Like this first room is really strange. You want to make sure that you're dashing into this room, and you're gonna want to jump like slightly below this slope. Like you see how there's this triangle right here. You want to jump before like this part of the triangle, and you want to jump over the fox here, up to the platform. You want to jump up here, jump over this guy, tackle. And you make this cycle without waiting at all. Now what that room looks like if you aren't doing that is you jump up here. Oh, it's been so long since I've done it. You're gonna jump up to this platform, jump up to this platform, jump up here. Oop, get shot if you're not that fast. I don't know. I normally get the cycle. So you kill that guy, you can get a heart in here, and you have to wait for this platform. Because you just barely aren't fast enough to get up here. And then you have to wait again. So even though you have to do like this kind of roundabout, you save 2 platform cycles if you do it this way. And it overall saves about 6 seconds. I messed it up there, but even if you miss it, you're not losing time, like in comparison to just waiting for the first strat. Because you have to wait for the platforms regardless. So missing it, you know, no cost, no otherwise. This room is a little bit more lenient. Depends though, because there's a big heart that you can get in this room that makes the cycle really hard. But if you're not getting that heart, the cycle is really simple. All you have to do is just jump over here, and then you have to wait for this platform to come back down again. Oh. I think I messed up. I usually get the heart, so the timing is a little weird for me. But basically, once this heat shade fires its ball at you, you want to jump up. Oh, I think I can still make the cycle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, even if you get hit by that, you still make the cycle there. I'll do it again, just to demonstrate. Oh, that was too early. Yeah, the cue for the platforms there are when that fireball starts to form, that's when you know you can jump to the next platform. But the jumps are a little bit tight, because you have to get pretty much max vertical off of them. Oh my goodness. No, I missed it. That's okay. So, to get the big heart, you're gonna have to slide. It's really hard to hit, to land. And actually you need to jump at a different spot too. You gotta jump closer. And difficulty with the slide there is you gotta be a little bit underneath that candle, because it doesn't go as far as you might think. But you get 5 extra hearts if you make that cycle. It's really hard to land though. And there's no platforms to worry about, but you kill the slimes. You'll always want to kill the slimes if it doesn't cost you any time, because they drop the Venus card. But since we cannot get cards, and normally if you already have the card and you roll the drop for the card, you'll actually get 5 hearts. This candle here is actually an X sub-weapon, but since we have that, it's 5 hearts. This one's just 5 hearts, so you can always pick up 5 hearts there. You already know about the save point down here. Pretty simple. Here, experiences, usually don't have to worry about it, so I'm not even going to bother, because there's a heat shade that you can kill. But in this wall here, we're going to get the cross sub-weapon, which significantly speeds up the next fight, the Iron Golem fight. I'm actually going to reload my save state, because taking that damage is not good. Ah. I'm going too early, man. Okay, dude. Okay, we're just gonna wait. I missed it! For this platform, there's the fireball. That second room, if you miss that cycle, it definitely costs more time than if you miss the first room's cycles. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I'm taking a bunch of damage anyway, so whatever. I tried. So there's the cross sub-weapon. If you want to kind of have like 70 hearts. Or like 65, 70 hearts when you get the cross sub-weapon. So if you don't have that many, you can just farm here. Like there's a big heart there. There are a lot of hearts in the Eternal Corridor, so you really don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah. So we killed that Heat Shade to level up, and also it has a chance at dropping the Stylish Suit, which is a strength item, which I have no strength armor, which is alright, it's no big deal. Iron Golem, very, very, very simple boss. You just throw crosses at it and hope it, and just let it die. When it slams the ground, you jump over it. The trick to this fight is, well, one, knowing how many crosses you need to throw so you don't waste hearts, like I did. But I almost never get a gauntlet, so I never know. Being able to throw your crosses and then stepping back and not dashing on accident, it saves a little bit of time. Just makes it simpler. But it's really as easy as that. Just throw crosses and it dies. Big heart at the very start. This is the stopwatch. You don't want to get the stopwatch. But I figured I would point it out. As you leave, you want to kill this Heat Shade because it's also guarding the heart. If you want, you can kill that one. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. If you're low on HP, go ahead and hit this save point. Remember the big heart here, you want to get it. There's no way of avoiding that guy, so, yeah. Or this guy. They're just out to get you. No big hearts from the slimes, but that's not a big deal. Here we're going to kill the hyenas on the way out because they drop in night suits. It's another strength armor, and we also level up by doing this. Depending on the route, like the item routing that you do for other parts of the game, you may not, depending on whether you're trying to get strength rings or not, like you may not get that level up otherwise. Oh dang it, I just timed that. Big heart here, and this is where we're gonna get that wall secret that we passed up a while ago. So we're finally coming to get it. Ten hearts. Don't want to hit this candle, you don't because of the axe sub-weapon, so just avoid it. Alright. From here you tackle down. So something to note that I haven't really touched on yet is tackling off the ledges. Actually, I'll do it down here, so the gargoyles don't attack me. Tackling is really good. If you're tackling off of a ledge and you have to turn around directly after, it saves like 6 frames every time. But even if you're not, even if you're going the same direction, the speed boost that you get from the tackle until you jump off the ledge actually saves like 2 frames. So whenever possible, I'm actually not very good at remembering. I don't run fighter mode all bosses too much. So I'm not the best at remembering when to tackle off of ledges. But whenever possible, whenever you can do a tackle at about the mid of its length, because you don't want to do it at the very end of it, because there's some slowdown at the very end of it. Yeah, just tackle off ledges whenever you can, because you maintain your run speed even when going in the same direction, and that's the important part, especially when comparing it to sliding. Yeah, that's just something I felt I should note on, is if you see me tackling off ledges, it's because it's faster. There's 5 hearts in this torch here. Now the corridor has a lot of hearts too, and they're kind of hard to remember sometimes. But yeah, it's 5 hearts there after this, before the 3rd cataplepa, or the Gorgon, I'm sorry. This one, the 2nd jump on your way down, there's 5 hearts. Now this is where the route changes come. In the current route, we don't farm anything in here really, except the beast demon here with the hearts surrounding it, where we throw a cross. But you know, for beginners, you're gonna want to farm. Just makes things simpler. These monsters have a chance of dropping. Well, the bears have a chance of dropping the strength ring, which give you 50 strength, and these beast demons have a chance of dropping the cursed ring, which gives you 35 strength and a defense boost. But cursed rings also reduce your luck as well. If you don't have any armor that gives you strength by this point, you're going to want to kill these evil hands on the way through, because they can drop prison garbs. And I mean, that's 5 strength. That's kind of useful. But if you do have strength armor, you want to try and avoid them. You're just going to jump around them. Chapel Tower, everyone's least favorite place when they first play this game. You just gotta not stay still. It's pretty straightforward because we're not really killing anything in the Chapel Tower, in these parts with the Bloody Swords. A good rule of thumb is to jump much higher than you need to over the flame armors, just because, you know, they raise their sword. There's a little there's a little skip here. If you jump up here, wall jump, and then wall jump again, you can save a little bit of time. I didn't get that last one, but it's still fine. If you didn't get the machine tower save point and you were like waiting as long as possible, there's also this save point to get. So like if I didn't tap the machine tower save point, I could have gone to this one, because this one's actually faster to get to than the machine tower one. But there's also there's an HP max later on that even more convenient, because there's a hyena. So even if you're farming for cursed rings and strength rings, you do not kill these beast demons in this area. The were-panthers, the were-panthers make this room extremely awkward. And if you're gonna farm, you should farm in the room before Dremelik anyway. Like if you want to farm again, like if you're really after it, then you should just farm there. There's 5 hearts in this torch. Most of the time you won't need it. There's another skip in this room that, oh look, stylish suit. That saves a little time. It's a little hard to pull off. Like, it takes some practice. Because, you need to delay your second jump a little bit. Like, you have to start falling before you do it. It's also something that you can go too fast on. Like, if you kill the heat shade, like if you're just really fast and then you kill the heat shade and you jump up here, and this, and this, and this, the fireball that this guy shoots will actually hit you on the left side. Yeah, this little wall jump sequence, it skips climbing up on the right side here. Which takes a very long time, because you gotta climb up here and then like, gotta go all the way around, and it's just no fun. So the rule of thumb is, you can get a max jump here, max height jump, but it doesn't really matter, you can go a little bit lower. And then you just wait you wait a little bit for your second jump. The window is not like super tight, but it's just something that requires a little practice. So I got a stylish suit. I'm not going to equip it yet, because I still have a chance of getting a night suit. Rule of thumb is you don't really need to equip your items until the next boss fight, because either you're not going to kill anything or enough things later on, along the way, that it's going to matter. Although this really only applies to like cursed rings. If you got a cursed ring, you don't want to equip it until the very end of that section, until the boss fight, because it lowers your luck. The other reason is if you do get another item, this way you can just equip them all at the same time, save a little bit of menuing time. So, in general, I don't equip. If I get a Knight's Styler suit there, I don't equip it. Messed up there. It's alright. There's also 5 hearts in here, so if you're not cursed and you need hearts, you can get them there. If you do end up getting cursed, it makes this next room a little interesting because you'll have to kill things by sliding, but it's kind of funny. So if you do end up farming for rings and in that one hallway, you'll actually get a second level up before Dremelic, and that's nice. And after sliding through those things, you should lose your curse. Now if you don't farm, if you don't get cursed, if you don't get hit at all along the way here, you skip the machine tower save point. This is where you recover. There's an HP max in here that is super convenient because there's that hyena there and there's a werebear here as well that could give you strength ring and a night suit. But those are the last monsters we'll be able to kill before the Adremelech boss, so I'm going to equip the Styler suit there. Adremelech is much like Iron Golem. It's not a very hard boss when you have crosses, and fighter mode makes this boss a joke anyway. You just throw crosses at it. If you're really good, you really don't have to move from this spot. Like this guy's going to summon fire. If this guy summons fireballs, you don't have to move at all. You do have to avoid the skeletons. Maybe. Like you could just jump down and tank the hit. But that's up to your discretion. Like I'm just going to take the hit because I have enough invincibility and I have enough HP and defense, and that really doesn't matter. So you could just run away from those fireballs. When you get those fireballs, you just want to run over to the left side and dodge them. When they first appear, they start to home in on you. I'm just going to let the fireballs appear so I can show you. So when the fireballs first appear, they home in on you. But after that, their path is dictated by that first direction. But if you're really paying attention, you could just dodge them while being right next to Adremelech. It can be hard sometimes though. But in general, you don't have to worry about taking hits here because you don't have to. The next boss that you're going to fight, you're going to be pretty much full health anyway. Or you're going to be recovering your health before you go to the next hard area anyway. Hey Messer, welcome, welcome. Destroy that statue, run on out, slide into this cutscene. Saves a little bit of time, because when you enter a cutscene, Nathan will just walk, which is very slow. Now we didn't use a whole lot of hearts. I'm actually going to throw like 2 crosses, because I know I saved like 2 crosses by whipping in the first couple phases, so that the hearts kind of line up. But yeah, we want to make sure that we get every heart we possibly can on the way out, because you'll reach your heart cap on the way to Adremelech, so getting hearts isn't usually that important, because you'll usually have max anyway. But here on the way out, it's super important, because we're going to do a new route where we go and do different bosses. Get the 5 hearts down there. We're just going to be making our way back. So yeah, this is where knowing where the hearts are extremely important, especially for this section. Because we're going to go to the Camilla first, actually. This is where the routes can diverge. The more consistent route, that is generally faster too, requires you to go to Camilla. and this is going to Camilla without the cleansing tag. So you have to kind of memorize the waterway. But if you don't have the waterway memorized, then you can just go to zombie dragons first. If you have the waterway memorized, feel free to go to Camilla. That's the faster route, or the more consistent route. And what I mean by that is, if you don't get a really lucky like strength ring or cursed ring, you would need like plus 70 strength for this to be slower. If you have plus 70 strength, then you should go straight to zombie dragons. But if you don't, then going to Camilla first is always faster. So I'm just going to show the Camilla early route just because, again, more consistent, generally faster most of the time. And it's just the route I'm more used to anyway. Just going to warp once. We're going to go up this way. It's actually a little bit faster to fall down the catacombs and to go up from the abyss stairway. Just like a little bit. But if we go this direction, we get more hearts. We get the 10 hearts in here. And down here, there's a chance that we get heart drops from the monsters. Like so. So 79 hearts is actually very, very, very good to have at this point. There's also the save point here. The one that saved that point that I tapped in the chapel tower, I usually don't do. I just did it because I was talking. My bad. So you can kill those boneheads for extra hearts if you wanted. But it really doesn't affect too much. Now the underground waterway, kind of hard if you're not very used to it without the cleansing tag. There's a heart max in this room. Now, I'll try my best to describe this area, but it's really just something that you watch and get used to. Again, this area requires practice if you don't have the cleansing tag, so it's just something you gotta try out. But the general rule of thumb is you're gonna be jumping a lot because the damage that you take from the water here, or the blood, is based on how long you've been standing in it. So if I'm moving, or if there's water beneath me, I'm going to be jumping pretty much the whole time. This is where we're going to do a glitch actually, and it requires a little bit of thought, or usually you want to wait for this armor here, the first one down here. He's got an ice spear ready to throw, and you typically want to, if you're not very familiar with this, like how you should move, you're going to want to wait until he throws that one. So I'm just going to wait. Okay, he's going to throw it. And then I'm going to jump up here and hit the switch there. And what this does is this puts me in position where I'm going to fall through this platform while it's moving up, so that I save a good like 30 seconds basically. And from here, just got to dodge the ice spears from the ice armors. There's another little skip here as well. We're going to double jump up here and wall jump. This skips another switch. You can jump over this ice shade, which saves a little bit of time and damage. Here is the lag room. There's really no way to avoid the lag, and I kind of screwed up. Fell in the water. You're going to want to hit this switch. Hey Glitchless, I'm doing well. How are you? And there's a save point down here, so if you're trying to be safe, or if you're not comfortable with running through this area, or just not very comfortable, then you can go to the save point here to restore your health. Makes this a little bit simpler. You can take a couple of hits on the way, and you'll want to hit this switch as well. It's good to hear Glitchless. This is a big long hallway area. You can jump a lot to avoid more damage. Oh, my bad. gonna come drop down here and hit this switch. Now, if you're really pro and you didn't hit the save point earlier, like if you're really, really good, you don't have to hit the save point before Camilla either. You'll have like maybe 60 HP, so you'll be really tight, like you'll be strapped for HP. You have to be really, really, really careful, so you won't want to get hit at all during the Camilla fight. But in general, you'll want to tap one of the two save points. The one in the midsection of the area is faster than going up here and going to the save point. So if you're going to go to one of them, you should go to the midsection save point. Alright, Glitchless, take care. Thanks for dropping in, man. Camilla is a pretty complicated boss. You gotta try and throw crosses while she's moving. And she moves at a strange pace, I guess. But there's some like areas that are really easy to make note of. So there's this second waterfall, small waterfall here. When the cutscene's over, you're gonna want to dash over to that waterfall and jump and throw across. And then when that one is almost done, you want to get to the... While you're waiting for that one, you're going to come to the edge of this platform and throw another one, like right as it's about to finish its rebound. I'm going to slow down here, actually. This is going to be hard. So you're going to wait for that cross, throw another one, wait for that one, edge of the left platform, throw another one. You want to slide and get underneath her, and you can throw another one while she's waiting to do her special attack. Here she has one of 3 attacks, laser, wind wave, and she could also just continue flying back the other direction. You want the wind wave, and there's really no way to know which one's which until it happens. So while you're waiting, you jump up here to kind of manipulate her, because if she does the laser, she ends up going up, which allows you to do the next part better, because you can throw more crosses at her. Now where you want to stand is kind of like this midsection here, and throw a cross, and then you want to stand over in the middle of that pillar, like this middle pillar at the right end of it, before you throw another one. Again, the midsection there, between those 2 small waterfalls. I'm just gonna let the fight play out a little bit, see if we can get the other attacks out. So she's flying back now. She usually flies up, so there's really no good way to handle this one. So when she's about to reach that mid pillar, you can jump on that platform and jump over and throw a cross before she starts to fly down. And then you can jump and throw another cross on the left edge of that left platform. So she's doing the wind wave. She'll charge towards you, and then she's going to attack in the direction that you were at previously. From here, you just go behind her and throw crosses. Cool, I got all 3 of her attacks. That was pretty nice. So, Camilla can be a little hard. It's just something you have to learn. If you're new to the game, it would be better for you to go to the save point before Camilla so that you can take extra hits. Because it's hard to kind of keep track of everything. The positions where you have to throw the crosses, avoiding the poison bubbles, and avoiding Camilla as well, adjusting to her attacks. So that's up to you. Just something you need to be aware of. Again, if you're new to the game, you'll want to do the save point before the fight instead of just the midpoint save point. And again, I cannot stress enough that you need to get hearts. I have plus 25 strength because I have the gauntlet and the stylish suit. So I think I saved 1 cross. I saved 6 hearts because of that. And normally I don't get the heart max at the start of the waterway, so I actually have 6 less hearts as well. So even if I landed all of my my crosses perfectly or well enough, I'd still only have 25 hearts when I'm done with Camilla. So if you don't know where the hearts are, you're not going to have enough hearts to finish the fight. And you have to start whipping her, and it's really not fun. It takes a long time, really. So knowing where the hearts are so you can toss crosses at her is so helpful. But yeah, so I guess I should explain why you go and do Camilla first. Part of it, most of it is because you get level ups, and her fight doesn't take much longer either way. Like when you go to her earlier, her fight doesn't take a whole lot longer because all you're doing is throwing crosses at her. She's really pretty straightforward as far as like doing damage to her because you're just throwing crosses the whole time. Most of those crosses do 5 or more hits, which is fantastic. So in actuality, you only really save 2 crosses if you were to do the vanilla route of Adremalec, Zombie Dragon's Death, and then Camilla. Because you only do a little bit more damage that would not require you to throw more crosses. But in this case, because we got those level ups early, the Zombie Dragon's fight is going to be much more consistent and much simpler as well. And will require less crosses, regardless of what our equipment is. Here's the save point. So we have the Rock Wing now. Basically infinite jump, up and R. Pretty simple. It's actually a pretty interesting quirk about the Rock Wing. If in the middle of the Rock Wing, or if like right before your Rock Wing, or like before or during the Rock Wing, if you hold the jump button, you actually ascend higher than you would if you don't hold the Rock Wing. So this is me holding A, and you see there's like a little bit of a float before I reach peak vertical height. If I let go of A, I actually stop short, and there's like no float. So there are some times where it's better to not hold A, and it's better to hold A. Like you just press R and hold A. The timing isn't very hard. You just gotta hold A before you reach like the midpoint. Leaving Camilla's area, if you were to leave if you weren't going to hit that save point. I'm actually not very good at this, I don't practice this very much. It's actually pretty hard. I'm trying to remember it actually, I don't do it very much. Try it again. No. Okay, we'll just do the one from the save point. You never hit the ceiling that way. If you do it that way. You're going to be holding A for the extended Rock Wing that whole time. So from the save point, you're going to make sure you're going to hug that wall a little bit before you turn around and do another Rock Wing. And the reason is, like, when you're Rock Winging, if you're dashing... Oh, you know, that's not true. I'm sorry. Coming from the save point, you're actually gonna go over here. There's a heart max that you're gonna pick up. You'll Rock Wing from here. And you'll do an extended Rock Wing from here. And double jump, and that lets you get up here. Oh really? So it might actually be a glitch for the extended Rock Wing because of like gravity and stuff like that. That's interesting. It's just an interesting little thing. But yeah, so we're dropped back out into the Eternal Corridor. So from here we're just going to go straight to Zombie Dragons in the gallery. We can 2-hit these demons, so we're going to kill them on the way. They're very fast. And there's 10 hearts surrounding that second one as well. There's a heart max in this room, and these bone flames have a chance to drop heart items as well. Yeah, that makes sense. An emergent mechanic based on how jumping works. Here's Underground Gallery. We're actually going to slide through these imps here because they can drop 5 hearts like that. They also can drop spiced meat, which heals 100 HP. It's very helpful. You actually want to kill that Harpy if you can. I don't remember if you need strength items or not, but you basically just jump off and whip. Because it can drop a star bracelet, and I don't remember which arm it's on, but one of the arms that you equip it on, it has different effects depending on whether it's on your right or left arm. And one of them actually gives you a strength bonus, so that's helpful. So there's this imp, you want to kill that one. Another Harpy, kill that imp. If you're worried about HP for some reason, there's a save point here. Oh, another interesting thing about boosted rock wings or extended rock wings is that like they can stop you from hitting the ceiling sometimes. Like if I rock wing, oh man, maybe I'm just silly. Never mind. Disregard what I'm saying. I'm thinking of a different route. Don't worry about me. There's a lot of hearts in this room, so what we're gonna do, there's 5 hearts here, and 5 hearts here. You can kill the moths, or you can jump over them. This room is kind of strange. You get different RNG, and the moths fly in different ways, so it's just something you gotta react to. This room sucks. The king bees, or king, dang it, what are they called? Killer bees. You can do some different kinds of ways to clear these rooms. It's just up to you, really. So, like, you can do it that way, or you can do it this way. Well, the first one, you don't have to do anything special. You just whip it as you fall down. You can throw a cross, and that kills the bee ahead of you. Same here, but you kind of, for that one, you kind of have to bait it out, because the, it doesn't see you, like quote-unquote see you, until you get to a certain position, and the man-eaters are positioned differently. So like, you have to go really far before it starts to see you, like right there, and then it starts charging after you. And it's too far away for your cross to hit it normally, unless you're like super precise. That one's not so hard. You just throw a cross while you're ascending, and you can just double jump over. But yeah, I normally just take that hit and go. Kind of a safety strat. It's also just something that allows you to get more hearts. There's 5 hearts here. And then there's a secret. There's 5 hearts in this torch. The heart max, the hearts respawn here so you can collect them again. And 5 hearts there as well. It's really cool. You can rock wing up here because we already did Camilla. Save point. Oh, gotta be careful of those guys sometimes. And there's 5 hearts here. Now we got a lot of hearts from the imps, so we have a lot of extra hearts. So 120 is actually way more than I normally have. I usually have somewhere around 100. And I usually end up using almost all of them. I use a lot of them, basically. The zombie dragons fight is hard to get the hang of. If for some reason you're worried and you want more hearts, just re-enter this room, farm some more. No sweat. But yeah, this boss fight is trolly. Basically, you want to fall down here. In general, you just want to focus on killing one of them. Just as a rule of thumb. If you're really good, you can try to like balance the damage that you do to them so they die around the same time. But they're like, I don't know, man. There's just, it's risk versus reward kind of thing. If you're skilled enough and you think you can handle and stack the damage properly, just try killing both of them at the same time, because there's a mechanic where when one of them dies, the other one actually starts eating it and it heals 400 HP. But during that time, you can actually throw a cross and throw crosses at it, and they get 5 hits on them. So you out DPS it basically. So I mean, if you're new to the game, I wouldn't suggest trying to kill them both at the same time, because this fight can get really complicated and really hairy really fast, and you could run out of hearts really fast if you're not focused. So if you're new, then I would suggest you just focus on one of them. But then again, this boss fight sucks in a lot of ways. The general rule of thumb is you actually want to stay near the bottom. And you really don't want to attack too much, like unless you're throwing a cross. The best times to attack are after they've already done an attack, or when they're starting to like rear their head back. If they do that move, you can jump over it, throw a cross while it's hit the wall, and that'll do like a good deal of hits. And then you want to throw a cross when it's coming back. So that goes down pretty fast. The fireball attack that one just did is really good because when it reaches the end here. So this is the eating, where you can just kind of wail on it with crosses. I'm just gonna wait for that fireball attack again to just kind of demonstrate it. If you see the dragons start chomping like in midair, that means they're about to like home in on you down wherever you are. And what you can do is you can run to the other side, and then you can throw crosses at it. So I'm gonna try to wait for that fireball attack again, just to show it. Oh, there's the chomping. So you run away, and then you can throw a cross at it. There's the fireball. So when it reaches the end, you can just throw a cross. You can usually get 2 crosses off before it's finished, and they hit a lot of times. So the basic idea of this fight is try to get your crosses to hit as many times as possible for each one that you throw. That fight went pretty well. Only used like 80 hearts. But most of my crosses also hit many times. I'm gonna do it again, just so we get a good idea of it. Alright, chomping, run away, throw cross. The other one's gonna chomp too. Usually after they chomp, they like go back up. So after they chomp, they go back up, and they usually go past, like, so they have their body, right? And I'm gonna use this as like a demonstration of like visuals. Like, you know, their body, their heads will almost never go behind the center of their body. Like when they're just doing their regular movement, their heads will only go behind the center of their body for a short period, and then they'll start coming back down. But when they start doing an attack, like when they do the chomp, when they do the fireball, those attacks means that they're pretty much they're more than likely going to rear their head back and go to around the center of their body. And that's where you throw crosses. Like, it's a really good idea to throw crosses. Like, it's a really safe idea to throw crosses. You can throw the crosses, like, where this zombie dragon's head is right now, but most of the time, because of the way that they move sporadically, it's probably not going to stay in that section, in that area for very long. So your cross may hit 1 or 2 times. So as a rule of thumb, when you're throwing crosses, you want to wait until they do an attack. Or when their head is going up, because it's about to hit the center of their body, because their heads can move back to the center of their body and be nearly vertical at any point in the fight. It's just when they do an attack, when they do a special attack or whatever, their heads usually go back up. So that's just something to make note of. So that's a good place to throw a cross. I'm just going to do whips until it starts eating on this guy, and then I'll throw crosses. I got hit, so I'm just going to wait. There we go. Like, see, notice how, like, right after it did that, it went straight back to the center. So I was able to throw a cross, and it hit a lot of times. So yeah, about 60 hearts used in that fight, and most of my crosses did more than 3 hits, I guess. I don't know, wasn't really paying that close attention. But that fight goes so much smoother after fighting Camilla and with a little bit of strength. At this point, if you won't, like, I only have 25 strength, so it really doesn't matter too much. I'm only doing like 2 extra damage per hit with my crosses because of this strength bonus. So yeah, it's not super significant. If you have plus 70 strength after you've beaten the Dremelech, it's faster to do zombie dragons first, but most of the time you're not really going to need to. This room is actually the best place to farm hearts in the whole game. There's just 10 hearts in here, and they're really close together. Here you're going to want to farm until, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 100 hearts, and then you can leave. I already had pretty close to max hearts, so I don't have to worry about it. That's another reason that, like, if you're getting really skilled at this game, you don't really want to farm hearts before zombie dragons, because it's just faster to do it afterwards, because you get 5 more each. Yeah, save point down here if the fight went really bad or something. Gonna leave the normal way. We have Rockwing here, so we can use that to scale these places much faster. There's 5 hearts in this first torch coming out. You're gonna want to kill this guy, case for heart item, this guy for heart item. And now we don't have a good sub weapon to kill these things quickly, so we're just doing this way. Rockwing up. If you're good at positioning, you don't hit the platforms. There's 10 hearts here. And now we get to go to fight death. This place is really fun. There's a lot of stuff to remember. At this point, like, remember how these guys drop like, these guys drop wristbands and these guys drop like prison guards or whatever? At this point in the game, they're not worth killing because 5 strength isn't going to affect how much damage you do for these later bosses. Yo, Card, thanks for the raid. It's worth noting there's HP max up here in case you need it. There's also 5 hearts in that candle. I already got it though, so I don't want to be redundant, I suppose. I knew I'd get the raid. There's a lot of interesting little movement tech you can do in this area. We have the rock wing, so we can skip this puzzle. And here you don't have to do the full puzzle, you can just slide. Now, we're going to be killing all of the poltergeists in this area because they have a chance to drop a cursed ring. It's their common drop too. You have a pretty high chance of getting one. I say pretty high, but it's something like 40%. Like, see, I got one there. That gives us 35 more strength. Now, I'm not going to equip it yet because I could get another one, and here I'll show you. So luck is the bottom stat. If I were to equip it now, it would reduce my luck by 100. And I'm already killing them in 2 hits, so equipping the cursed ring now will not actually change the amount of hits that it takes for me to kill one. Want to run to the left side here, because you have to destroy these blocks anyway. So yeah, I already have a gauntlet, but just for the sake of the speed run, I'll show killing them all anyway. There's 15 hearts down here, as well as, since we have the rock wing, we can get this heart max without doing the whole puzzle. Something cool to note about this room is, like, you have to break this block, right? And then you have to go up here. We already have the rock wing though, so if you break this block and hold up, and then rock wing, you'll maintain your dash speed. Whereas, like, if you were to break this block, not hold up, and then do rock wing, you have walking speed as you fall down. Just an interesting little speed conservation thing. Yeah, you actually have to do this whole puzzle. This is the only one you actually have to do entirely. You skip most of the steps for the other ones. Oh, I'm just gonna point this out, just for the sake of newer players and stuff like that. There is a secret room up here that has a poltergeist in it. That is a really, really easy and fast place to farm curse rings. There's also a heart max. So if you wanted to, if you're new or you're having trouble with the final Dracula fight or something, you can just come into this room and farm the poltergeist. Like this. And yeah, so that's just a place that you could get cursed rings if you really, 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 really needed 2 of them. Cursed rings give a strength bonus, which strength rings actually reduce your defense. So that there's some benefits to having cursed ring instead of a strength ring. This room is really awkward. These succubi, they're mostly random in the way that they fly. You can kind of manipulate them. So this room is actually extremely laggy. There's a lot of, I'm not entirely sure why. So it's actually faster to break those 2 blocks and then break that one as well. Oh, something, you can kill these guys for heart items too. And then you want to push this block to about, you see where that black line is? Like right here? Like that I'm standing in the middle of? Kind of want to push the edge of this block under that black line. Then you want to push this one down. You can stand on this one and push it forward a little bit. And then you can jump on it and just slide through. And that skips like half that puzzle. And it saves a lot of time. Now here, we get to kill our last couple of poltergeists. There's a save point here before death. Last one. Oh. Oh. And we only got one curse ring. So now that I've killed everything, I can equip the curse ring because it doesn't affect my luck, or my luck doesn't matter for a boss fight. And Death is kind of a fun boss. Death dies really fast. Wait a second, did I do this wrong? Wasn't I supposed to go fight Hugh? Yeah, you're supposed to fight Hugh first. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess for a beginner round, it'd be better to go to Death, huh? Cause I don't remember actually. Oh my gosh, Darren's gonna message me or gonna see this and he's gonna be like, "What a noob." Anyway, we're at Death. We're gonna kill Death. Actually, let me open my splits just cause I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've run fighter mode. I'm sorry. No, no, wait a second. This is the wrong splits. No, okay, you do Death before Hugh. Never mind. Yeah, because you have a chance to get Curse Ring, which would make the Hugh fight faster. So here, what's really important about this fight, and especially for the first phase, is cross positioning. So like he moves really predictably. He's always gonna move towards you, and he moves in a very set pattern. So you can use crosses to really just mess this guy up. So here we're gonna throw a cross, and we're gonna make sure that it hits him while he's moving, and basically you just wait for that the cross to finish, and then you just throw another one right after he passes the center of you. You kind of want to be in the center area of his movement path. Like, so the first time he moves, right? He stops right around here, right? So what you want to do is you want to be, after you throw your cross, is you want to be like in the center area of where he's going to be after he stops. So that when you throw the cross, it will go to pretty much the very end. Oh, I'm being silly. It'll pretty much hit the very end of him, and then it'll rebound as he's about to move back. So, just a skill to keep note of. And it allows you to save hearts, because we're going to try to conserve as many hearts as we can for the final Dracula fight. Actually, it doesn't matter, because we can farm for Hugh. I'm just being silly, I'm sorry. But I know he's pretty close, so I'll just whip him real good. And this is really easy. You just throw crosses and walk back and forth. Avoid the sides if you can. Usually dies in like 4 or 5 crosses. That's funny, double. This guy takes forever to die. So now we're gonna go up to fight Hugh. There's 10 hearts on your way out. Lots of places to tackle. Well, a couple places to tackle. We're gonna climb up the catacombs with the Rockwing, which is really cool because it's really swag. Except I'm not very good at it for some reason. The world record holder, Darrenville, is very good at climbing in this place. So from here we're actually going to do the warp here. It's faster than just running through the homie room and just rock wing straight up, because we don't have a lot of movement speed in this category compared to magician mode. Not. It's been a long time since I've run this category. I'm sorry, y'all. The observation tower is really straightforward, honestly. There's not a whole lot to really comment on. You just kind of move through. There is a chance to get soldier's fatigues at the very start here. There's a secret in this wall. Go in, throw across. If you don't have very much strength, you'll have to kill it. I'm actually going to show something, because there's a way to leave this room. After, like, you see those stone breaths? Wow. Thanks, Win. I hit the Windows button. Okay. Hang on. I'm just... Crap. Crap. I'm sorry. We're killing death again. I shouldn't have done that. I thought I save stated. Okay. Wait, let me double check my mic is up. Okay, yeah. No, I'm just a dirty cheater. So yeah, we do the same stuff that we just did a moment ago. Maybe I can do the catacombs better this time. No, 5 hearts. I want them. That was a little better, I guess. It's hard to focus when you don't actually speedrun this category very much. I haven't like actively run fighter all bosses since like 2012. Like I've just done a few runs here and there, and they just happen to get better and better and better. Alright, this time I'm going to save state at the right place. We've never been here before. No, this is the first time I've been here. Yeah, honestly, I really just did magician all bosses. But like, you know, when you get better at the game in general, you just do really well, I guess. And you know, this category isn't super hard once you understand how bosses work, so yeah, there's that. But okay, so I'm gonna wait a second. We're gonna kill this guy. So there's a way to get out of here even after he's done that. If you, well, you can do that, and it's really not that big of a deal because you can escape really fast. But you can actually do it without getting hit if you jump right, very precisely. There's a save point over here. If you need a save point, I don't. There's a heart down here. You need the heart, which it's good to get. This room, it's kind of weird. This first part, you won't get hit at all. Period. There's actually 5 hearts in this room. Oops, I'm just gonna do it again. I can't remember which torch it's at. I can't remember if it's the center torch or I think it's this one. Yeah, 5 hearts there. And you want to make sure you jump because that guy's gonna come after you. There's also 5 hearts here. Oh, something to note. Actually, no, never mind. Forget that. Because whatever. Just don't worry about it. I'm not even gonna say it. This room, kind of hard to do without getting hit. Like that. There's 5 hearts here. Something you can do for swag, I'm just going to show it because it's fun. You can actually jump over this guy instead of sliding underneath it. But it only saves like 3 frames. There's 5 hearts in here because this is where a cross sub weapon is normally. And this also resets that room, and there's an HP max. So generally it's a pretty good idea to go through here. So you can get through this part without a problem. This guy just kind of react to. There's 5 hearts in this torch. There's a lot of hearts in this area. And then 10 hearts here. So we're pretty much at the cap for our hearts right now. We barely did anything. And we don't need to farm yet. If for some reason you don't have max hearts, or like if you don't, let me think here. If you're like 40, more than 30 hearts away from your cap after the Hue fight, you would farm here, but it really doesn't matter that much at this point. The Hue fight, very, very, very simple boss actually. This boss is hilarious. What you do is at the start you whip, you jump, and you whip, you jump, and you whip. I'm just going to show the very simple strat first. Just 1 jump, 1 whip. He really just doesn't know what to do. This is the beginner friendly strat, basically. Oops. So, no, never mind. I'll make a comment on that later. You can get a whip off there. You can also get a cross here, like right before he lands. That can do a good deal of damage, like that. Yeah, it is a pretty simple boss if you just do this strat. He's a pretty simple boss otherwise too, but yeah, easy fight. But there's a way you can do it faster. Also, something I'm going to point out before I do this other strat is when he does a special attack, when he throws a sub-weapon, is based on how far he walks. So right around this pillar here is when he throws the first sub-weapon. It's distance based. And later on, yeah, so like basically when he walks 1/4 of the distance of this room, he's going to throw a sub-weapon. Maybe it's 1/5, I don't know. The distance is kind of strange. Looks like 1/4 to me. So for this other strat, you're going to get 2 whip hits in between each of Hugh's attacks. So we're going to get the first one off. It requires us to time our jump a little bit better, and we have to jump a little further away. But it's faster. Oh, my bad. And then if you get holy water, you can do this. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna reset this. Man, nice hits, dude. I was too fast there. I actually slid into him when he still had invincibility. Yeah, the fight's really straightforward. Not very hard. I mean, it takes a little practice to get the timing down right, but once you get it, you get it. It's not really something you have to practice too hard. So again, your heart cap, if you've gotten all of the heart maxes, is 174. I think in the route, the route that me and Darren run currently, I think our cap is 164 after Hue, normally. Or no, it's 168, because we skip out on one of those heart maxes. Don't remember which one. It depends on how the route has been going so far. Yeah, it's 168. If for some reason you're more than 30 hearts below your cap, you can farm here. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about it, because 10 hearts there, 5 hearts here, and if for some reason you need 15 more hearts, there are 5 hearts here, 5 hearts here, and 5 hearts here. Most of the time that really will never be a problem, because the heart routing is very, very good for this route. Take that portal. We're gonna go fight the Big D, Daddy Dracula. But first, so you can go back up to the save point near the homie room with the wind demons. I'm just gonna go up there just to show it. Just yeah, for the sake of the tutorial, there's a save point here. There's also 5 hearts. If for some reason you need hearts while you're going to the save point, which, whatever. Save point, woohoo, yay. Actually, you know, the first form of Dracula is little d. Second form is big D. There's an HP max here. So in the route that I run, I don't go to that save point at all, and I pick up this HP max before I fight the first Dracula, because very infrequently that I actually get hit. Also, what was I about to say? Even if you do get hit, you can still take a good deal, like 5 or somewhere between 5 and 7 hits for the second phase of Dracula. But if for some reason you're worried or you do get hit in the first Dracula fight, but you don't want to go to that save point, you can get this one after the first Dracula fight. So we'll just do the first Dracula fight and come back for this afterwards. This fight's pretty straightforward as well because you do so much damage at this point. And I actually have really good equipment. So what you want to do is you want to stand like max cross distance away. Throw one as he appears. Now for fire bats, there are 3 different kinds of bats you can throw. Fire bats, ice bats, and lightning bats. You can only get 2 crosses off in fire bats that really matter because you're trying to save hearts for the second Dracula fight. Ice bats, you can get 3 crosses off, but it's really, really tight, and I typically don't recommend it. The lightning bats, you can get 3 crosses off, and they can all hit pretty much their max hits. So there's that. I'll try to demonstrate it as best as I can. If you get good RNG, you get ice bats and lightning bats, you can actually 2-cycle Dracula 1. It's really cool. Ice bats. So that cross didn't hit the max as it could. I got good RNG. Oh, I messed up though. The lightning bats fly in a specific pattern. I'll try to show that. Oh, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready! Oh. But generally you just want to throw 2 crosses, jump over the bat, and then just whip. Alright, I'm going to wait for the lightning bats, because otherwise I'm going to kill them too fast. So for lightning bats, on the right side here, you want to jump up over the second one, and then just stand straight. Like, you don't have to jump again. If you're at max cross distance, you'll have to walk back a little bit. Like, here, I'll show you. Oh, I think he's doing a different one. No, so, okay, so you can jump over the second guy, but if you're at max cross distance like that, you're gonna get hit. So after you throw your second cross, you'll want to step back a little bit. So you can get 2 crosses out before the second hit, the second one, and you can jump over him. I'll pretend like I'm throwing them at him. So you can get 2 off, jump over him, throw the third one, then you'll either get hit or you'll have enough time to step back and not get that hit. Just to demonstrate, you know? Oh, he does it twice. Nice. I'm just gonna wait. I'm not trying to waste my hearts. Okay. Cool deal. So now we're going to go back and do the HP max. For the save point, you normally want to do this Dracula fight. You want to do little d before you save, because this fight's really simple. And then you would save before big D if you were to save. Because big D has a lot of optimizing. Like, this fight can go a lot of different ways. A lot of it is reacting to the RNG that you get. So it takes a lot of practice if you want to do it really fast. Hey, Ultimate Rio. Welcome, sir. Alright, so first things first. As soon as the fight starts, you want to dash off this platform and double jump off. This is to manipulate Dracula into the center of the room. And we're going to do this after each phase. So I'm not going to throw any crosses just yet, because I'm going to demonstrate... Oh, dang it. I'm going to demonstrate the manipulation, what to do for each attack. So meteors, you just kind of have to hope you don't get hit. You kind of want to stand near the center. Like underneath, so Dracula's going to be in the center of the room, right? And then, so meteors are going to come. Oh, that's poison bubbles. So if poison bubbles happen, you can throw your cross, then rock wing. Well, normally your cross would do full hits. Then you rock wing to the other side. Dang it, I'm derping here. Rock wing to the other side, throw another cross, jump down. Then you can run away, run to the other side, throw another cross. Sick. And then you can jump up here to manipulate him. And now for meteors. You kind of want to be down the center here because it gives you more time to react to them. And if you have to dash away, you have more space to dash with. But you can also, if you're really worried about getting hit by them, you can just kind of pause occasionally to know when a comet or a meteor is coming towards you and just dodge appropriately, because they move really fast. Alright, the next one could be lasers, could be comets again. Bubbles, so again, for bubbles, we're gonna throw our cross. Oh, we got comets again. Dang, this RNG is nuts. Alright, bubbles, your cross hits, rock wing to the other side, throw another cross, jump down, and then as you go to the side, throw another cross. Now we're getting into the second phase. This is where things can get really fun. So he'll do these charges. He can do between 2 and 4 before the bats appear. And he does this circle motion, where he circles the whole room. And the bats, there will be bats that'll fly out at certain specific locations within this room. I save state at the wrong time, dude. Whatever. So this is 3. You can kind of get some extra hits on him if you're really wary of where he's going to be. So yeah, he does this circle motion as when he's a bat form. He circles the whole room, and he sends out bats at specific locations. Just gonna run it through. We're gonna do it the regular way. I'm actually gonna throw crosses just to kind of demonstrate. Oh, that was too far, too close, too early. That's what it would look like with crosses and stuff. Just kind of giving you a feel of what the fight looks like normally. So this is the 4th charge. I know for sure he's going to be bats, so I'm going to do that. Pretty easy fight, right? Not really. It's really hard to learn. But so that's what it kind of looks like. Now, as far as the science, as what you need to do for the wow, Okay. For what you need to do for the second phase is actually kind of complicated. So, we're going to wait until he turns bats, and then I'm going to try my best to comment on this as best as I can. It's not very easy to really comment on this fight. I think this is bats here. Alright, so Dracula charges, right? He charges to either the left side of the room or the right side of the room. You would actually survive like one charge if you're at full HP. It does like 500 damage or something. Fighter mode is the only one where you can survive at this state in the game. But then you're at really low health. So, anyway, so after he's done charging and he turns into bats, he does either the left side of the room or the right side of the room, correct? And then he'll either fly in a circle around the room clockwise or counterclockwise. So in this case, he's going clockwise. So, as he's flying around the room, you can obviously land cross hits. I'm just gonna we're just gonna observe Dracula's flight pattern because it's the same every single time. Well, based on which side of the room he's on and whether he goes clockwise or counterclockwise. So if he's on the left side of the room and flies around the room clockwise, it's going to look the exact same every time, right? Two things to note though. Oh gosh, which save state did I use? Okay, that one. Two things to note though. The points, so like, alright, well, we'll watch this again. He's going to throw bats at you randomly. Well, it may seem randomly, but the positions where he throws bats at you to like home in on you, like right there, are actually fixed. So the room is a square, right? And like the 4 compass points of the room, north, east, south, and west, that's when he's going to throw a homing bat at you. That's just something you need to be very aware of. So he was at the north point of the room, so he threw a bat. As he comes close to this platform, when he's about to pass through it, that's when he's going to throw another one at me. Like right there. When he comes to the south part, he can throw a bat at me, like right there. At the west part, he's going to throw a bat, like near that platform, like right there. And again, as he hits the north point, he's going to throw another bat. So let's see how much damage this charge thing does. Yeah, like 412. You can survive 2 hits. That's if you're at full health. Now, so you get the compass directions and things like that, but about the flight patterns, that's where it's going to get a little tricky. So like, on the left side of the room, if he goes clockwise, right? He is always going to... Okay, now he's going counterclockwise. This is annoying. Go clockwise. Thank you. Okay. So, like I said, the flight patterns are always the same. He has 4 different kinds. So on the left side on the going clockwise, this is for cross positioning, right? You're gonna hit him as you come down first, because you're gonna be rockwing. So you hit him coming down, then he flies above you. So like after he flies above you, you want to get to the right side of the platform here, and right as he passes above you, like right after, you throw a cross. Now you don't want to jump too high and throw a cross, because 1, you'll probably get hit, and 2, if you fall down to the bottom of the room, well in general, if you fall down to the bottom of the room, your cross despawns, and it doesn't do any damage. So you're gonna wait there, you throw another cross after he kind of crosses, after he gets hit by the first one. You throw it there. Now, something to note about the flight patterns is on the left side of the room, right? If he's going clockwise, he's going to pass... Actually, on the left side of the room, if he turns into bat, it doesn't matter which direction he's going to pass this right platform on the left side of it, right? It's based on the room position, ultimate, not the player position. But again, so if he's on the left side of the room as bats, whether he's flying clockwise or counterclockwise, when he passes this right side of the platform, he's always going to be on the left edge of it. So this will be good for like cross position. So like right there is too close for me to throw a cross, right? So when he's coming down, like this is where you throw the second cross. You want to actually go very far out, like the center of the left platform before you throw another cross. And this is for maximum damage. Like, see, that did 6 hits. Then you can whip him, and then you can jump over here, and then throw another cross. If you're fast enough, it'll also do a lot of hits too, and then you can whip him on the way down. So, that's one thing. We'll try to get him to come to the right side. But I'm just gonna, so like counterclockwise this time. When he does counterclockwise, hang on. We'll see how this works. Okay, does counterclockwise. You can get. Oh wow, he did not do counterclockwise. You can get one hit. You can do this. And you throw across. Oh my gosh, I need to do it in slow motion. It's way easier to comment. Then hit him. Loudly. Hit him. Hit him again. Slide. You can usually squeeze a slide in. It's pretty tight, but you can do that. This RNG is wild, dude. Alright, so you can hit him, and then you can slide, hit him again, unless he throws a bat out. That's okay. But again, like, notice where he, with the platforms, like he's going to come in on this right platform on the left side. Like he's barely going to graze this platform, because he's on the left side of the room when he starts this phase. So again, all about cross positioning, so you can get the most amount of hits off. So you get one hit off, slide, hit him again, jump on the platform, throw across near the edge of it, go to the left edge of the platform, throw another cross, and then kind of want to, he's going to cover the center of the left platform as he comes down there. And you can throw a cross to cover that. And to cover the center part, you kind of want to be around the left edge of the right platform, or a little bit further from there. So that's what it looks like from the left side of the room. Try to get some right side of the room. Yeah, so like just knowing what the flight patterns are like, because they're always the same, just lets you be able to place your crosses in really good spots so that you can do the most damage. Okay, hopefully this is it. No. But knowing, like, if he's on the left side of the room when he turns bats, and he's gonna fly, he'll always be like on the left side of the right platform. That's kind of the most important part, because it's the opposite for the right side of the room. He'll be on the right side of the left platform if he appears as bats on the right side. Dude, this guy loves the left side. Something I haven't really said is, like, you want to be underneath the platform when you do your rock wing so that you don't hit the ceiling. This guy loves the left side. Alright, we'll try it one more time. But I feel like just noting on how the flight patterns work is pretty good one. Because you're going to have to practice a lot either way, and so probably going in on your own to practice them is good enough, right? Come on, right side. Come on, right side. Alright, so whether he flies clockwise or counterclockwise, so I think he's doing counterclockwise, yeah. So counterclockwise here, again, it's basically the opposite of left side. So he's gonna, when he comes down, he's gonna be on the right side of this left platform here. And then when he circles back through, he's gonna be coming through the center part of this right platform. The most important thing about, like, knowing where he's going to be with the platforms and all is, like, right when he passes through the platforms, that's when he starts like doing this diagonal where he goes straight through the center of the room. Instead of like going down and then going to the right, he just cuts straight through in diagonals. So I want to get one whip off and throw a cross here, similar to like it was on the other side of the room. You can throw a second cross before he makes it down to the platform. Whoops. Oh well, we'll just pretend I threw it at the right spot. Well, he's gonna die. So I'll just, yeah, throw a cross here, throw another cross right about here, and then you want to be here right as he gets through the platform, and then throw a cross there. And then he circles back through. So after that cross, you slide underneath, and then you throw another cross here. Normally you want to be higher because it's only going to get like 2 hits, and then you immediately throw another cross there. That cross is going to go through, and then you would whip afterwards. So it's basically the cross positionings and the strats are exactly the same for one side as they are for the other side. It's just mirrored. They can differ a little bit because, like, you can manipulate Dracula to spawn in other parts, like other parts of the room, like higher or lower from the charges. But if you're always underneath the platform when you're rocking, like if you're always from the ground when you're rocking, he'll always be in the same spot, pretty much. So you won't have to really change up anything that way. Yeah, the biggest things to really take away from second phase are the compass coordinates, the compass locations, north, south, east, west. That's when he's going to throw bats at you. And knowing where he'll be, like the flight patterns. Like if he's on the left side, he'll be on the left edge of the right platform when he comes down, or up rather, when he passes through that platform. And then when he goes through into the next platform, he'll be in the middle side of the left platform if he's on the left side. And the cross positions, the timing for the crosses are basically the exact same, no matter which side, just mirrored for one side or the other. Yeah, there you go. That's fighter mode. That's y'all's tutorial. Fighter mode's again, it's pretty simple to get into. It's really hard to die. I mean, if you're new to the game, you may die sometimes. Or if you're going for all the risky stuff, you may die sometimes. It's whatever. But yeah, if you're getting into Circle of the Moon, this is probably the best place to start. Either that, or if you're really into the glitches, like Vampire Killer or bosses, would be the next place. Because the movement in this category is not dangerous, for one. And the bosses, they're pretty easy to learn. They just take some practice. You don't have the same killing power as you do in Magician mode, but the amount of deaths that you'll take are far, far less. So, yeah. But, yeah, thanks for watching. And that's it. That's the tutorial. Follow, like, subscribe, all that nonsense, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah.